Hello everyone, welcome to What's Crafting Wednesday. Lisa here tonight, and we're going to continue and finish the Stepping Up series of cards tonight. But first, let's get on to our drawing from last week. I have these two hand pen cards, and I have all my tickets from the comments. Put all the names in here and shake them and shake them and shake them. All right, and let me grab a ticket. And I have Carol. Well, congratulations, Carol. I know you're going to be happy because I know you love this paper and it is on your order. Okay, everyone. So did everybody have a good week? I hope so. I hope it was crafty. So let's get started. We started with this basic semi-clean and simple card. Not many layers, not many embellishments. Beginner card. And then last week we stepped it up a notch, adding some additional layers and some additional stamping. And that's kind of our intermediate stamper card. And tonight we're stepping it up a little more with some additional layering. Stamping and adding some ribbon. So this is getting more towards your more experienced or advanced crafter. Okay, so we will get started. My card pack here. And tonight we're using the You're a Peach DSP. And as you can see, it's not just peaches. And again, the Blossoms and Bloom stamp set and the Floral Squares dies. And for ink, I have Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, and Pear Pizzazz. And for embellishing, the new In Color Jewels, the Opal Rounds, and the Pale Papaya sheer ribbon. Okay, our card base is Calypso Coral, and it is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and we will score that at 4.25. Well, let's get that done. Okay. And for the inside of the card, I have a piece of basic white that is 5.25 by 4. I'll put that off to the side with the envelope. And we have the Pale Papaya ribbon. This here for layering. We have some DSP. We're going to add a piece on the inside, so I'll put that off to the side. And then we have Pale Papaya cardstock. So let's fold on the score here, increase it with the bone folder. And we're going to add this piece of DSP, which is cut at 4.25 by 4. And we'll just quickly glue this on. Just put it over to the right so we have an equal border all around. And now here we have a piece of Pale Papaya that is 1.25 by 4, and the DSP is 1 by 4. As you can see, the flip side of the pattern I'm using does have peaches on it. Just going to glue that to the center of the cardstock. So we have a little border on both sides. And now we're going to add some of this pretty pale papaya sheer ribbon. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to wrap it around and knot it. If you wanted to be a little fancier or more advanced, you could tie it in a bow. But we're going to keep it a little simpler tonight. So I can just tie it in a knot a lot quicker than I can tie the bow. And that was quick, and that looks very nice. Once I get it on the card, I will trim the tails. Now, since I'm using ribbon on here, I'm going to put a strip of tear and tape on the top and the bottom to hold the ribbon in place. And then I'll also run some of the liquid adhesive on the sides. And then that's going to go on the front of the card once I take the backing off the tear and tape. Okay. Now, which way should we put it? That way? That way? I don't think it really matters. Let's go that way. I'm just going to put it so that it lines up with this DSP, and we're just going to overlap it a little. Let's make sure it's straight. Okay. And then trim the tails a little bit. And then I'm also going to add a glue dot just to hold the knot down. Just going to put it right behind there. And it just keeps it in place. And then next, we're going to adhere the die cut to the Whisper White backing. Remember, you do not want to use a lot of glue. You don't want it seeping out all over your card. And you don't want to have sticky fingers when you're done crafting. It's just going to go right on top. The basic white is cut at 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. That's the size of the die cut. And this week, instead of matting this like we did last week, I'm going to turn it around and angle it. So get a little glue on here. And there. And we're also going to pop this up this week with some dimensionals. And then I put them right over where the layers overlap. And then we'll put one in the middle. And let's just get these backings off here. So, has anyone made last week's style card yet? I would love for you to share what you stamp if you did make it. I'm just going to put it down in the bottom corner. And then I'm going to use a dimensional for the flower. because it looks nice popped up. And just make sure you put it on the right way because the petals are different sizes. And then we're going to finish it with an Opal Round. If you haven't gotten these yet, absolute must. Can you see the sparkle and the shimmer in them? So, so pretty. All right, let's see if you can see the sparkle and the shimmer. And now for the inside of the card. This week I added a strip of DSP and still stamped the sentiment with the little flowers, but I added leaves to the flower up here in the corner. I'm just going to glue this down first. Then you have the right spacing for your sentiment. And just make sure it's straight. And I stamped it in, yes, Pear Pizzazz. So I stamped Happy Birthday in Pear Pizzazz. And then I did the little flowers in Pale Papaya. This one on each side. And then up in the top, I use Calypso Coral. Ooh, caught my scissors. And Bumblebee for the center. And I did add 2 leaves as well because we are stepping it up a little more. And one on both sides. And just adhere this to the inside of the card, and then we'll add some in colored jewels to the centers of the little flowers. So it would be 2 small Pale Papaya jewels. That one didn't want to let go. And last but not least is our envelope. And this time I stepped it up by stamping 3 flowers rather than 1 as I did last week. So first I did a Calypso Coral flower. And I'll just need to clean my stamp a little bit. And then 2 Pale Papaya flowers. And when you stamp them, just try and turn the stamp a little bit so the flower petals aren't all the same direction. And Bumblebee for the centers. couple of leaves to finish it off. Put one over here and try one down there. And maybe one going off there. And let's put one more up there. Okay. So that is this week's Stepped Up a Bit More card. My sample. And then I'll just again show you the past 2 weeks cards so you can see the difference in the card as I stepped it up each week. We started off here, a little more basic, just the basic white layer, some DSP, the flowers, and just simply stamp the sentiment on the inside with the 2 flowers. And the envelope just had the single flower on it. And that was the Sweet Symmetry DSP. And then last week we stepped it up. We added another layer of DSP, so it had the 2 patterns, and a matte layer behind the die cut. And the inside added 2 flowers, and the envelope added leaves to the flowers. And then this week, stepped it up a bit more, added the ribbon, another matting layer, plus it was popped up with dimensionals, and added some DSP inside the leaves, and the envelope added some additional flowers. Okay, everyone, so that takes us to the end of this week's What's Crafting Wednesday. I hope you liked my little mini series on stepping it up a bit. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about tonight's card, what you think about the little series where I showed you beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Just leave me a comment and say hello if that's what you'd like to do. You know I like reading your comments. This is, I can't believe it, the end of July. DSP sale is still going on, 15% off for 9 patterns of DSP in the annual catalog. And the 3 patterns that I used the past 3 weeks are included in those 9 DSPs. So that's 15% off. And when I'm back next Wednesday, we will already be in our 2nd day of the holiday catalog. Ooh, I can't believe it. And the 2nd day of celebration. My long distance customers, your catalogs are in the mail. My local customers, I think all of you have already gotten your catalogs. I've either delivered them or you got them today at class, which by the way was awesome today. First time with an in-person class in 16 months. So we had a great time, and I'm looking forward and fingers crossed that we will continue to be able to meet in person like we always did. Okay, everyone, thank you for tuning in and joining me tonight. You have a great and crafty week, and I will be back next week, 7 p.m. Looking forward to it. Bye, everyone.